Have you ever heard of a book so controversial, so disruptive, that it was deliberately left out of the Bible? A text that claims to be a direct revelation from God, yet was condemned and hidden for centuries. Today, we're diving deep into the secrets of the Book of Jubilees, often called the Lesser Genesis, and uncovering the explosive reasons why it was banned. So, what exactly is the Book of Jubilees? Imagine getting a director's cut of the Book of Genesis. That's essentially what Jubilees is. It retells the familiar stories from creation to the Exodus, but with a ton of extra details, new conversations, and a completely different timeline. The author claims this isn't just their interpretation. They say it was dictated to Moses on Mount Sinai by an angel, a secret history of the world revealed by heaven itself. This claim alone was a bold move, positioning the text as divinely inspired, equal to, or even superior to the established scriptures. One of the most radical things about Jubilees is its calendar. Forget the calendar, Jubilees introduces a strict 364-day solar calendar. This wasn't just a quirky detail. It was a direct challenge to the official lunar calendar used by the temple priests in Jerusalem during the Second Temple period. The book is passionate about this, insisting that this solar calendar is the only one ordained by God, following any other calendar, especially the lunar one, meant celebrating holy days like Passover and Yom Kippur on the wrong dates, which Jubilees considered a grave sin. This created a huge conflict. It wasn't just a scheduling dispute. It was a battle for religious authority. By promoting its own calendar, Jubilees was essentially saying the temple leadership was wrong and leading the people astray. You can imagine how well that went over with the religious establishment. Then there's the book's intense focus on angels. In Genesis, angels are present, but they're somewhat mysterious figures. In Jubilees, they are central characters with names, ranks, and specific jobs. They teach humanity everything from writing to medicine to the art of war. But there's a dark side. Jubilees expands on the brief mention of the sons of God in Genesis 6, telling a detailed story of a group of angels called the Watchers. These Watchers descended to earth, took human wives, and taught humanity forbidden knowledge, sorcery, astrology, and weapon making. Their offspring were the Nephilim, giant beings who filled the earth with violence and corruption, ultimately leading to God sending the Great Flood. This story paints a picture of a cosmic war, where humanity is caught in the middle of a struggle between good and evil angelic forces. This added layer of angelology and demonology was far more developed than in mainstream texts, and was seen by some as too speculative, bordering on myth rather than sacred history. The legalism in the Book of Jubilees is another major factor. It takes the laws given to Moses and applies them retroactively to the patriarchs. So you have figures like Abraham and Jacob meticulously observing laws that, according to the Torah, hadn't been given yet. For instance, Jubilees claims the laws of Sabbath observance were practiced since the creation of the world. This emphasis on strict, unchangeable law, eternal and binding on everyone from Adam onwards, was extreme. It presented a rigid view of piety and obedience that may have clashed with more mainstream interpretations that saw the law as a covenant specifically given to Israel at a particular point in history. The book is especially harsh on the idea of intermarriage with non-Jews, condemning it in the strongest possible terms and linking it to the sins that led to the flood. This level of severity and separatism was a point of contention. So, who wrote it and when? Scholars believe the Book of Jubilees was likely written in Hebrew around 150 BC. This places it in a time of great turmoil and division within Judaism. Different groups were fighting for control and arguing over the correct way to practice their faith. The author was probably part of a sectarian group, possibly linked to the community that produced the Dead Sea Scrolls, where fragments of Jubilees were found. This group saw themselves as the true remnant of Israel, preserving the pure, original form of their religion, which they believed had been corrupted by the temple authorities in Jerusalem. The book was their manifesto, their secret revelation that proved their way was the only right way. With all this controversy, it's no surprise the book was eventually pushed to the margins. When early Jewish rabbis began the process of canonization, deciding which books would officially become part of the Hebrew Bible, Jubilees didn't make the cut. Its radical calendar, its detailed angel, its claim of superior revelation, and its sectarian origins were all red flags. It was seen as a challenge to the authority of the Torah and the established rabbinic tradition. As rabbinic Judaism became the dominant form after the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, texts like Jubilees were deemed heretical or apocryphal, meaning hidden away. The story of its survival is just as fascinating. While it was lost to Western Christianity and Judaism for over 1,000 years, it was preserved by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. In Ethiopia, the Book of Jubilees, known as the Book of Division, was never banned. It was accepted as part of their official biblical canon, where it is still read and revered today. It was only in the 19th century that European scholars rediscovered the text through these Ethiopian men, and later, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls confirmed its ancient Jewish origins. The rediscovery of Jubilees was like finding a hidden chapter of religious history. It offers a window into the diverse and often conflicting beliefs that existed during the Second Temple period. It shows us that the Bible as we know it wasn't a foregone conclusion. It was the result of long and complex debates about which stories, which laws, and which visions of God would define a faith. The Book of Jubilees lost that debate in the mainstream, but it never truly disappeared. It survived on the fringes, a testament to a different path, a forbidden history waiting to be told. It challenges us to think about how history is written. Who gets to decide what is sacred, and what other secrets might still be hidden, waiting to be rediscovered? What do you think? Was the Book of Jubilees a dangerous text that deserved to be banned, or was it a legitimate revelation that was unfairly suppressed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into forbidden history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time!